Hi, I'm Frank Cowell. I'm excited to share this clip with you from a content marketing bootcamp that I ran recently. It's on target market segmentation because let's face it, in order for your content marketing to be successful, you have to be very targeted with your campaigns. So watch it and let me know what you think. Next thing we're going to talk about is target market segmentation. So we talked about at a high level what your editorial mission was and how you're going to serve your marketplace at large, the different market segments that you serve. But when developing content marketing campaigns, you need to focus in on very specific target market segments. So we're going to go through a few exercises right now to help you pick your first target market segment to really hone in on. This may sound a little scary to some of you, or maybe to your bosses who want you to target everybody, but I will tell you, when you try to do any sort of marketing that targets all of your market segments, it's not too effective. I don't know if any of you have experienced that. I know I have throughout my career. And I will tell you that at Elevator, as we've done our own content marketing over the past couple of years and continue to refine our approach, it really becomes much more valuable when you can hone in on a target market segment. So let's help you guys figure that out and figure out what your first target market segment is going to be and what your first content marketing campaign will be around that target market segment. So go to page 12. And at page 12, I just want you to define a few really large markets that you guys go after in your organizations. And then within each one, I want you to write down a couple of subsets within that market. So the example that Dan and I were talking about a moment ago is, let's say one of your markets are hospitals. One of your target markets, hospitals. Well, that's very big, right? It's very big and broad because within hospitals, you have different subsets. So for example, you might have mid-size rural hospitals. Mid-size rural hospitals become a very specific segment of the market because you know the things that will cater to a mid-size rural hospital is really different than a large metropolitan hospital, right? The concerns and the issues that they deal with and the positioning that they're after. Boulder said agencies, right? Agencies was a market segment. Is there a subset that narrows that in even more for you? Because agencies come in lots of different flavors and sizes. And what's important to me at my size is probably really different than the agency that's $60 million in revenue, which is not where I'm at, right? The concerns are different. So is there a way to narrow that in further? Is it, agencies that are, trying to go from 1 to 10 million? Is it, specifically, is it digital marketing agencies, right? So what are the subsets in there that you can cater to? And Dan, too, has tons of, experience with this and dealing with, hundreds of customers, maybe thousands of customers doing content marketing. So I don't know if you want to pipe anything you want to add.
So at HubSpot, right, we can sell to a lot of different people. It's more so about, we want to sell to companies that are a certain size. They have for us, it's like a concept of a lead. So they need like a sales lead. Maybe they have a sales team. So there's different like characteristics. It's not so industry specific for us, but it's very focused on like what is the structure of the organization. We're not like industry focused. We don't have verticals, but you could also define this based on what does the organization look like.
That's a great point, especially if some of you deal with consumers. You may not have like an industry label there, but you might say, the target market at large might be, moms. Well, what's the subset, right? So moms with, preschool-aged children who work, right? That might be your specific market segment.
So you're not talking about audience, you're talking about segment.
Segment, yeah.
Okay.
And audience plays into that to a degree. And so it can get a little gray. But the idea is if parents or moms are your big market, what are the specific situations or segments there that require different conversations? I would say when it gets to the point of requiring a different conversation and they want different things, that's a segment. That's where you they need to be engaged with differently. And right, so you want to be narrow enough to where that person could say, yes, that's me. I really identify with that. So when you pick your segment, you want that kind of self-identification for that segment. You want that person to say, yes, that's me. That's what I'm going through. That's where I need help. Okay? So that's why when I threw out the example earlier, maybe it's military service members who are about to retire, right? That's really narrow. And the content then really speaks loud and clear to that individual, right? You're concerned about like, what's life going to be like when all I've ever known is the military? Will the civilian world be compatible with me, right? There's all these things that are very narrow and specific that will really speak to the emotion of that segment. Okay, so go to page 13, and I want you guys to take the market segment that you picked, and I want you to fill out this sheet here. And so for the blank market segment, our goal is to be what? Now this speaks to business goals and objectives. So we're talking a lot about how you serve the target audience, but at the end of the day, you still have to accomplish business goals and objectives. Because if you go back to your executive team and you say, hey, all we're going to do now is serve. That's it. We're just going to serve and make people happy. That's great, but you have to align that with your business objectives, your goals and objectives. So within this market segment, what do you want to achieve within that segment? How do you want to, what goals do you want to accomplish? Your goal is to be what? The preferred known vendor. Your goal is to have the most market share. And so we're clear. Goals, right? Goals are broad, not so specific. Objectives are smart, right? So it'd be a smart objective, and goal is something much more broad. So what is your broad goal with that market segment? And this is where, when we talked a moment ago about aligning with your executive team, right? We talked about if you guys don't align on what the goals are and why you're doing what you're doing, this is where you can bring it back to this. And so your objectives might be around how many new customers you want to generate in that segment within the next 12 months. So objective number one might be, 50 new clients in this segment within 1 year. Or it may be, certain kind of installations or projects you've done with that client. You could also say our objective is to generate 100 leads per month with that segment by this date. So write down some very specific objectives. All right, so you guys have goals and objectives defined for your market segment. Once you do that, I want you guys to take a little bit of an inventory around your core offering. The core offering for that market segment. Now you may have several things you do for that market segment, but what is the one primary thing you want to focus on for that market segment, that core offer? That's on page 14. Quick, what are you going to deliver in exchange for their money? What is it you're going to sell them eventually? And then when we talk about benefits, your customer experiences, what do they gain as a result of doing business with you, giving your money, and you provide that service or that product? What's the benefit of that? What do they gain? This particular market segment. And the follow-on to that is the question below that, which is, how would you value that? Is there any way to assign a monetary value around that, or other value, be it psychic value, physical monetary value? All right, so talk about your position in the marketplace. Are you the premier provider? Are you the most expensive? Are you the high end? Are you the most affordable? Are you the most high touch? Are you the most luxurious? We had one organization here, like they're the fun organization, right? They're the organization that's fun to be involved with. That's their position. They're the fun organization within the sphere of organizations that do what they do. So what is that position in the marketplace? Thanks for watching. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below. And also in the description, we have a link to some free resources based on this Content Marketing Bootcamp that we ran. So if you want to learn more and get access to those assets that we delivered in the Content Marketing Bootcamp, go to the link below, fill out the form, and we'll send it off to you. Thanks again.